School starts on Tuesday, September the 3rd in Warren County and some other counties. Teachers are already preparing themselves for the 1996-97 school year. The Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce hosted a welcome breakfast this morning for new teachers at the Samuels Public Library. Local businesses donated food, and over 20 chamber member businesses donated items for a goodie bag that got so huge the chamber had to switch to large grocery bags to hold all of the items. Each new teacher was presented by the principals of the schools and given a goodie bag as a welcome gift. Over 40 new educators were received into the community, and Acting Superintendent Dr. John Blanton spoke a few words of welcome.
I assure you Warren County is a wonderful place to work. I wouldn't stay here 30 years. Oh, well, thank you.
WAZT also spoke with the acting principal of the Warren County High School. We're here at the Samuels Public Library with Irvin Callis, the acting principal for the Warren County High School, and Robert Kellum, who is on the school board. Could I ask you, what are your plans for the future of Warren County High School? How do you feel about this year?
Well, I feel that we are going to have a good year. We have excellent teachers. We have fine students. What I hope to do is to remind the teachers that we are there because the students are. We are going to try to make the best of what we have because the students deserve it. I also feel that there are some people who might be thinking of other things. I am there to let them know that we are not in any business while we're at the high school other than that of educating the children. And I believe we're going to have a very successful year.
Thank you. Mr. Kellum, would you like to add anything?
Other than I feel very optimistic about the coming year. Some positive things have been put in place to correct some of the problems. I feel good about the students. I feel good about the teachers, the staff that we have in place, and look forward to providing a good sound education here in Warren County for our students so that they will be able to go out into future endeavors being very productive in whatever field they choose to be in.
Well, I think that the welcome the new teachers received today was a really good positive note, and thank you both. Reporting from Front Royal for WAZT, I'm Sandy Flynn. Okay, should have worked this time. County Board of Supervisors and the Warren County Planning Commission held a second joint public hearing Friday evening to rezone the Johns Farm property located on Route 522 North from agricultural to industrial use so that the Family Dollar Corporation can build a distribution center on the 110-acre parcel. The public signed up to speak to the boards, and most of the citizens who spoke live near the proposed Family Dollar site and are against the rezoning. The second public hearing was held because James Stevens, whose property neighbors the Johns Farm, is filing a suit against the county regarding the construction of the Family Dollar warehouse. His case will be heard in the Warren County Circuit Court on October the 1st. There was a sense of deja vu as Stevens and Family Dollar gave their presentations.
That why doesn't Family Dollar go to a different site? Our second choice site is not in Warren County. And I just wanted to go on record as making that point.
And I just ask that you oppose and not approve this rezoning tonight.
James McManaway, chairman of the Board of Supervisors, stepped down so that he could make motions to rezone the farm. He also made a public statement regarding his decision to allow Family Dollar to have the property it chose.
I know that this action will adversely affect some of the land values and some of the people in the Rockland District. However, it is by far to the greater good of the county that I make this motion. And my integrity and the integrity of others, I'm sure, could not survive unless we do it.
The board rezoned the Johns Farm from agricultural to industrial use for a second time. Reporting from Front Royal for WAZT, I'm Sandy Flynn. Fair wrapped up its week with a bang by holding a demolition derby on Saturday. Rules for disqualifying in the derby include failure to hit another vehicle for more than 1 minute, getting hung up on another vehicle for over a minute, being stuck in the mud for more than a minute, or having your car leave the arena. Mud was flung far and wide, and a few minor fires were extinguished. WAZT spoke with one of the winners.
Just let it eat.
Do you ever get hurt when you're driving?
No, I never have.
Is there a prize for this?
Yeah, I got a trophy and
Did you win this?
yeah, $40
You'd won $40.
and a trophy.
You try to back into their radiator?
Anywhere you can get a good hit, set the driver's door.
And 89, hung up one on the other. 51, shut him down out there. Oh, shut him down. We've still got about 7 or 8 automobiles running and going. 57, let's go. You got to make a hit on somebody. Let's go.
It was an action-packed Saturday at the Demolition Derby. Reporting from Berryville for WAZT, I'm Sandy Flynn.
This is a major flat tire problem we face. Number 100 and number 85, hung up one on the other. 103, 70, 102. Here on this end, this black automobile is on the clock. 85, you are on the clock. 85. Number 89, you are all done. 89, all done. Work on a live car, gentlemen. 102, setting up on the back of the Cadillac down there, 70.
Goals and priorities for the coming year, and it is not all-inclusive. I think everybody here should probably drop by the office and take a look at that. And if you have any goals, just get them all down, then we can prioritize them at a later meeting. And we're going into executive session and going to lose the TVs, but before we do that, I'm sure that everyone in the county government and the board joins me in wishing everyone in Warren County the most delightful holiday season and a very prosperous and happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Okay,
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
What advice do you give to teachers and parents when they're working with their youngsters at school and at home and helping to encourage them to write?
Well, the first thing is they need to read. If you don't read, you're never going to be much of a writer. The second thing is don't evaluate everything that a kid writes. In other words, a professional writer, like many of the things that I write, never see the light of day. And some of the things that I write shouldn't see the light of day either. And some of the things that I'm going to publish take a long time for me to get them just right. And if somebody came in and actually criticized those things harshly before I was finished with them, I'd quit right then. So I would say read a lot. Don't criticize everything that a child writes until he's finished with it. Okay?
Once a youngster is finished writing a piece, what do you recommend to a teacher to say in critiquing a student's work when they see that it's good, but yet perhaps needs some polish?
The best thing a teacher can do is ask good questions. You read something and you say, I really like this place here, but I'm not sure that I know where it's going. Could you tell me where this character is going to go next? Or I'm not sure that this is very clear to me. Why do you have this before that? And when you start asking questions like that, if they're real questions and not what I call teacher questions, you know, teacher question is when I ask you a question but I already know the answer. If you ask a kid real questions about their writing, they will respond to those questions by rewriting, which is what you want them to do.
We understand that you're here this week in support of the Standards of Learning objectives for Warren County Public Schools. I understand that you'll be coming back again this spring. What is the long-range objective in your coming here to work with our teachers and students?
Well, this is the second year I've been coming here about every couple of months. And by the end of this year, we hope to have a writing guide for Warren County that will include standards for Warren County. It will include a list of written products, grade by grade, so that teachers will know what students are supposed to write in each grade and how many times and how they're supposed to evaluate them. And what I call a rubric, one for primary, one for elementary, one for middle school, so that teachers and kids will be able to take this rubric and apply it to their writing and know where their writing works and where it doesn't work. And so I'm saying by the end of the year we should have that completed.
So you're going to be able to help students to evaluate their own work through this rubric? Is that what you're saying?
That's the goal. The goal is to have a rubric that both the teachers and the students can understand, that the teacher can use it to teach from, and the student can use it to revise from. Zena. Zena, I like that. I like that. Zena Leanina. Okay. Now, let's be serious for a minute. If I'm going to write a fable, now do I have enough about my anteater?
Yeah.
Is this going to be, when I write about this anteater, are you going to be able to see this anteater? See what it experience in many different areas of life. I can't perform well unless you tell me beforehand what it is you expect of me. If you tell me clearly what you expect of me, then I will do my utmost to produce that. I think frequently when we've tried to teach kids writing, we've left our expectations sort of vague, you know. When we finish this guide for Warren County, students and teachers will both have a very clear picture of what quality writing is at different grade levels.
Well, we look forward to seeing more good writing coming out of Warren County Public School students, and who knows, this might lead to a literary publication within the school system of student work.
I wouldn't be.
Well, obviously we're elated about the progress that the port is making. This has a vital role in the economy of this entire tri-state area, and it's major what's happened today, and this means jobs, jobs, jobs.
Well, I think it's just been a great day for Virginia, and the opportunities that we now have because of this just prove, just as the governor has been working for these years, that Virginia really is open for business.
How is the Torrey building coming along?
It's
getting almost completed just for outside, and we are going to moving next week to our
trade mission to Japan and Korea and Hong Kong was very good, especially in Japan. We were able to secure investments and commitments from 3 Japanese companies to invest here in Virginia. It'll be creating about, those 3 altogether will initially be creating 200 new jobs for Virginians with their investment, and one of the investments is in Botetourt County down the valley a bit, and others in Chesapeake, and the others in the Northern Virginia area. But the point is that Virginia is an international competition. We're pleased to have international companies come here and invest in Virginia and provide jobs for Virginians. And I'll go to all ends of the earth to make sure that everyone knows that Virginia is open for business, especially here in the Valley. And we did meet with Toray Plastics, which is right here, and those folks we're very pleased with Virginia. We were talking to them about possible expansion in the future, and I think we had very good meetings, and I think the dividends from this trade mission will be felt not just for those 3 businesses expanding or locating in Virginia, but many others in the years to come.
Now he's doing it.
My name is Jeff Ethel. I'm an aviation historian working on my 56th book on aviation history. And I have the fine privilege of flying the airplanes I write about, in this case a P-51 Mustang. And I fly most of the World War II types, the B-17 bomber and the B-25 bomber, P-47 Thunderbolt fighter. And of course the Mustang, which is probably the most famous of all the World War II fighters. It was the airplane that kind of stood for our war-winning capability in World War II. It was designed for the British in 1940. And then by 1944, these were long-range bomber escorts. And it flew in the Pacific, in Europe, in the Mediterranean, all theaters of war. And it is a lot of fun to fly. Now, of course, it's an antique, and they're worth a fair amount of money, so people collect and restore them as old cars.
Surratt was hung following Lincoln's assassination. Elizabeth Trindle has written a book about Mary Surratt. Trindle and her husband live in nearby Edinburgh, Virginia. She has just returned from her book signing tour. Jean Marshall interviewed Trindle for WAZT.
Elizabeth, when did you first become aware of Mary Surratt as an American tragedy?
I could not tell you, Jane, exactly when, but I'm left with the impression. And that is, I can't believe it. I can't believe this happened. I must look further. I must research this. And that's what I did.
I understand that you researched and wrote for a period of 15 years. Where did this research take you?
It took me to the Surratt Society in Clinton, Maryland, where Mary's house still is structured there, and the usual places, of course. And by that I mean the Library of Congress, archives, and then researching the family, too, to some degree. And I was able to find some of the descendants of the family and some of the descendants of other characters in the book.
Trindle will be appearing at the Becca House in Woodstock on July the 21st.
Anyone who would like to speak in regards to issues?
At the most recent school board meeting, following letters to the editor and being sent the children trap by certified mail from the PACE organization, Larry Andrews spoke about setting the record straight.
We've all got this information, we've all read this information, we've heard it countless times over and over and over. Not only the scripture verses, not only the chapter 11 and the children's trap and all the rest, it's just, drowning us with the same rhetoric over and over. And I'm responding to this because I think it's important that the public be aware of it. There was a request after I was informed by a member of the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Matthew Teeter, that they were planning on cutting $1 million from our school budget. And he verbally notified me of that before we were notified from the Board of Supervisors. When the newspaper stories followed, I never at any time said I didn't want to have a meeting with the Board of Supervisors. I didn't want to have a meeting at that point because it was inappropriate until we got a handle to see whether we could make these cuts or not make the cuts in order to have that discussion.
Reporting from Front Royal for WAZT, I'm Sandy Flynn.
I really do would like to thank everyone very much. Thank you for your time and your financial support. We really do appreciate it. And if there's anything that we can do, just please give us a holler. Come by for dinner.
What time?
But we really do thank you.
Very good.
Okay.
Yes, right.
It's overwhelming for me.
Roy is the president.
Okay.
I'll be the president for
I guess that's it.
R-Y-L-E-S.
You're the president
I'll be the president for the year 1996-97, starting in July 1.
of the Habitat Humanity?
No, for the Rotary Club.
Well, it's towards the project, whether it's directed towards the house or the land,
President was
whatever.
out of town, and I was filling in that capacity.
Can I get a close-up of the chickens, please?
You sure can, Sandy. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And we're all going to have barbecue here. As soon as everything's finished, we're going to have a big barbecue here.
You're certainly welcome.
But don't make
And you must be in the Rotary Club, too.
I've been in Rotary, yes ma'am, since about June of 1988, and I am now the treasurer of Rotary, and have been treasurer of Rotary, started in my third year.
In a couple of weeks when we do the site plan.
Well, got a nice haircut there, Carl.
Royal Country Club, or men's golf committee. Yeah, they're great.
Golf tournament, is that what it is?
If you can just, I mean, you can get it to Angie, and if she hasn't talked by then.
You're doing good to see.
That is yours, okay. I saw her last night, she came out.
A number of groups within town that said they'll be working.
Let's see. They did, and if she's going to have it today, I'm
Well,
going
the
to
doctor
really.
told her to go home tonight.
So this means I can look at that house right down there.
Yeah, it works. That works.
No, she said you wouldn't.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Try a long hike.
Don't put that on Dave. Don't put that on Dave.
I didn't get your name. I'm sorry.
Roy Boyles.
Roy Boyles.
Yes. How you doing? Fine, you? We appreciate the Rotary. Yes, sir. Thinking of us? Sure. Okay. Glad we could help out.
Mr. Crowder?
Yes.
Could I ask you how long you've been involved in building for the Habitat?
Let's see, we started in 1991 as far as trying to get affiliated with the Habitat International in Georgia. And it took us about a year and a half to get the affiliation done. During that time, we did several rehab jobs, some in Shenandoah County and some here. And then in 1992, or 93, I believe, we were affiliated. And since that time, we've built two houses, one in town on Prospect Street and one at Linden on Gore Road. And this will be our third one. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get started within the next 2 weeks.
How long does it take to build one of these?
It depends on the donations. We work with donations from the community, and if the donations come in, we can continue right on, and hopefully we can have this one done by the fall.
And how many core people actually do most of the construction?
We have about 6 that really stay involved on an almost full-time basis. We have probably 100 people that have signed up to do different jobs.
And what role do you play in
I'm
this?
the, I guess, superintendent of the construction. I've been doing it for the other 2 houses, and I'm going to try to do this one too.
Debbie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was going back to work. And today she has a golf tournament scheduled.
Can you give? Can you give?
Number 1.
Can you give an equipment report, sir?
I'm giving it all to Scott, Captain. I think so, Blue.
What seems to be the malady for this piece of equipment there with the top off?
The dilithium crystals are blown, Captain. I can't stop her. It's going to overload. We can't hold it as much longer. I'm ejecting.
Five, four, three, two, one. Well, today wraps up National Truck Driver Appreciation Week, and WAZT was able to speak with a couple of drivers who are from Warren County. We're here at the Skyline Express Incorporated trucking company located on 522 in Warren County. And how long have you been here, and what is your name, sir?
My name's Bob Powell, and we've been in business here just about 4.5 years now.
What are some of the things that your trucks carry?
Well, we do quite a bit of intermodal business with the Virginia Inland Port, and we carry poultry products that are exported throughout the world, and we do a lot of domestic intermodal business that's trailers on flat cars, and that they can haul all kinds of things. A big customer we have is General Motors up in Martinsburg. General Motors parts are brought in by rail.
Could I ask you your name, sir?
Mark Dotson.
Your name?
Norman Messman.
How long have you been driving?
Just about 12 years.
What is it like out there?
It's not bad. You get used to it. Traffic's getting heavier by day, but it's something you deal with.
What are some of the things that you like about your job?
Oh, I like being on my own and like driving around different places and meeting different people.
Are there any suggestions that you have for motorists that could help your life be a little easier on the road?
Yeah, they need to be a little bit more considerate of the trucks. They're large and it takes a long time for them to slow down, and they just have to pay a little bit more attention and have a little more care.
I understand that your company bought both of you new trucks because of your accident-free records. How's your new truck driving?
Oh, I love it. Like a Cadillac.
It's great.
Reporting from Front Royal for WAZT, I'm Sandy Flynn. Deliver.